Hi everyone, this is Hippy Dippy. This is a random video that I want to do, and I'm gonna talk you guys about 5 random facts about myself. So fact number one, I am more comfortable talking to women than guys. Here's the thing, I used to be verbally and physically abused by my mom's ex-boyfriend. Well, verbally abused by my mom's ex-boyfriend, and physically abused by my dad. My mom tried their best, but I love my mom to death, so it doesn't really bother me. Because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be alive. But here's the thing. I feel more comfortable and more safer talking to females, and also being myself and this, that, and the other thing. I feel like I can be myself towards them, because back in the day when I used to get bullied a lot in school, even though I did get bullied by a lot of girls as well, some girls actually stood up for me, and that's why I have more respect towards women, and that's why I show kindness towards women than guys. That's why I'm more like I I I can get along with men and guys, but the problem is it takes them a lot longer for me to open up to them. Women is a lot easier to do that because I feel more comfortable and safer towards them. So that's why I have more comfortable talking to women. Fact number two. Fact number two is that I taught my oldest sister how to ride a two-wheel bike when I was a little kid. This was back when I was like 2 or 3 years old. I don't know how old I was back in the day, but I don't know when I taught her that. But she's told me that I taught her how to ride the bike. I can't ride the bike anymore because my legs are two different lengths because of the head injury. But to be frankly honest with you, I'm glad I taught my sister how to ride a bike. It made me feel happy about myself. Random fact number three. I usually let women cut in front of me in line during cut in front of me in lines because ladies before gentlemen. I remember one instance where there was a beautiful lady behind me, and there was this guy who was almost about to flirt with him, and I kind of knew, so I let her go ahead of me, even though she had full cart and I only had 2 items. I didn't mind that, and I stood behind the jackass behind me and then he said something. I wanted to flirt with her, and I was like, "No, you go." It was better. I'd rather have her go because I wasn't really waiting as long because I had to go across the street and work from 10 at night to 7 in the morning, and it didn't really bug me because of that reason. But I felt like I saved her from being like having some jackass talk to her. And when she was getting her items, I didn't talk to her once. I talked to her like one time, and that was "you're welcome," and that's it. And then she took off, and that's why I felt fine because I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. Because if he talked to her, because the guy looked like fug ugly, I will not do that. But that's beside the point. Fact number three. I used to have a bug collection when I was 2 or 3 years old. This comes from a guy who had fear of insects. Yes, I have fear of insects, and I've always had a fear of insects since the head injury. My mom had let's just say my mom had a, a story to tell, which is after the head injury, my mom set me down set me down in the sandbox, and the only reason why she set me down because I was in a wheelchair at that time. I'm not anymore because I walk everywhere. But the funny thing is that there's an ant crawling next to me, and I was screaming bloody fucking murder, and my mom was laughing because of the fact that it was just a fucking ant. I'm not scared of ants anymore. I mean, they're fucking easy to kill. I mean, it's just fucking ants. But I'm still afraid of bees, big spiders, not dandelion legs. Dandelion legs, known fact that they have the most venom. Dandelion legs has the most venom spider, but the problem is that their fangs can't really pierce your skin. So it's not like it's lethal, so that's why they're harmless. They're also really good at catching bugs, so I don't mind dandelion legs back in the day. So yeah, that's fact number three. Fact number four, and this is the most important thing, is that my If I stand on my right leg, I am 5'6". If I stand on my left leg, I'm 5'11". And the main reason because of that is the fact that, and this is the other reason why I can't learn how to drive. I can't. I've already got my permit, but the problem is that I can't drive because of one reason only. When I drive, my when I'm sitting down in the driver's seat, I'm technically sitting on the top my upper left leg because my upper left leg is higher. It's more in my body than my. It's like basically, it's like when you put your, if when you put your right, my left leg's in socket. It's in the hip socket, right? My right leg is higher than the hip socket, so that's what that means. So when I'm sitting down, my leg is pretty much like, hitting my side or my organs or stomach or stuff like that, and it hurts like fucking hell. When I die, they'll figure it out what the fuck's wrong with my hips and stuff when my body decays and stuff, which is gonna be fucking interesting. But luckily, I won't be able to see it because I'll be dead. But that's beside the point. Okay, that's fact number 4, and fact number 5. I had a long time thinking about this. I love every music genre except for fucking country. I hate fucking country. Oh my god. If country was, if there was nothing but country in this country, in this world, I will probably fucking blow my freaking earbuds out because I despise country. It's not because of the, it's because of two reasons. One is because of the fact that country music makes this weird sound and I don't really like it. I'd rather listen to fucking bluegrass because at least it has a fucking banjo. Country music just sounds the same to me. And the second reason is the fact that it's the songs about the songs in country music kind of are like all samey. I mean, it's all about women, fucking women, fucking, patriotic America and stuff. But at least classic, I will at least listen to classic country because that sounds a little different, which is perfectly fine. But today's country fucking sucks. It's just like why I don't listen to rap anymore. I mean, unless it's Eminem or Kendrick Lamar. But that's pretty much it. That's why I like old school rap because even though rap nowadays are just the same shit, talking about drugs, fucking women, and stuff like that. Oh, back in the day, they were rapping about random stuff like chicken tastes like wood. I'm like, what the hell? That's referencing the Sugar Hill Gang just to remember that. 1979, song's 14 minutes and 47 seconds. Okay, so those are 5 fun facts about myself. I also like hockey. Hockey is really fucking good. I like hockey. Hockey's like my favorite sport. And yeah, so I'm always positive in life because I've already died once because of my head injury. I have a C on the side of my head when they cut me open. So yeah, fun fact about that. There's some stuff about my head injury. My head injury was when I hit my head on the heater, okay? And a lot of people don't know about this. I hit my head on the heater, okay? There's a sharp end sticking out of the fucking heater thing. And the thing is the fact that, and this is the main reasons why I want to talk about this, is the fact that most people don't know about it. Now I explain it to people in other videos, but since I make so many fucking videos, it's just like this, that, and the other thing. There's a sharp end sticking out of it. The thing that people don't know about my head injury is the fact that when it happened, I started throwing up constantly. And the funny thing is that I told my dad I was bleeding. Guess what he did? He did absolutely shit because I had, I had one speck of blood on the side of my head. So my dad's like, "You're fine." As I was throwing up, my mom came home 3 hours later. Okay, this was 3 hours later. This is what my mom told me. 3 hours later, 'cause I don't remember it. She called the hospital. She was on hold. So instead of calling the hospital, she decided to go to the hospital because my eyes rolled the back of my head. I had the strength to walk into the hospital and walked this, that, and the other thing. I passed out, and the nurse thought I was on drugs. Okay. Now then, with that being said, they wanted to do a CAT scan on me, so or a scan from my head. When they did do that, guess what? They immediately went into surgery. Um, that's the best thing about that. I literally died on the operating table. They had to resuscitate me to make me breathe again a couple times. So I'm alive now. So that's a good sign. Doctors also say I wasn't gonna be able to walk, but my mom changed that narrative by making me walk, which is fucking funny. My mom, I love my mom to death, but boy, she was fucking tough on me when I was in the wheelchair. She's gonna watch this like, what the fuck, man? Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, but the funny thing is the fact that the doctors thought that I was in the after the head surgery because I was bleeding inside my head. I wasn't really bleeding outside. I was bleeding inside, so they had to cut open my head. Things that they don't realize is that they didn't knock me out. My mom told me that she heard me screaming once or twice because she told the doctor told her that she they did not put any anesthesia. I was awake during the whole situation until I knocked myself out cold because they were kind of cutting my head open because I have a C on the side of my head to prove it. Um, when they told me when I was done with the head surgery, they said that they might have to put me in the drug coma because my pressure. I don't know how they do in medical terms, but my pressure was too high. So then my mom started screaming at me when I was, on the bed laying down. And the nurse said, he can hear you. And she's like yelling at me and stuff. And then when she was yelling at me, my stupid fucking jackass of a dad said, maybe you should stop. Then the nurse comes up and says, no, let her do it. Because my pressure was going down, which was a good thing. And I don't know why that happened. And I think the main reason is because of the fact that I feel like consciously, I don't remember it, but consciously I remember. I think consciously I thought to myself, I need to fight this because there's no one else that's gonna help me out. And my mom was screaming at me, and I think at that point, I think that if I didn't wake up from this, mom's gonna kill me. But that was my thought process. Now I don't think I was thinking about that, but it was just like if it wasn't for my mom, I would be dead. So that's why I tried to at least try to like open up to her and stuff and be this, that, and the other thing. There are some stuff that she's messed up on a couple times, but I forgive her because of the fact that everyone makes mistakes, and it's like everyone makes mistakes. What you do from those mistakes will depend on if you become a better person. But that's just my opinion. That's what my mom always tells me. This, that, and the other thing. They never took a piece of a brain out of my head, which I've always just thought, but apparently not. They did not do that. They just cut open my head open and put two tubes in this on the back of my head so they can drain out the blood that I was losing inside my head. I believe that's what they were doing, but that's beside the point. Because I have two bald spots on the back of my head where they put tubes in my head so they could get rid of the stuff. My mom also told me that the doctors never washed their hands because they had to go in right away. Because of the fact that if they didn't wash even though everyone says that they did wash their hands, they should wash their hands, they did not for me because of the fact that I hit my head, and it was probably like 5 or 6 hours before after the head injury, and 5 to 6 hours where nothing happened to me. I mean, I was still bleeding. I was still doing this, that, and the other thing, and the doctors didn't know what the fuck to do, and that's the main reason why it happened because of the fact that they didn't wash their hands, because of the fact that it took them a long time just to figure out what the fuck is going on in my head. That's the main reason why. Because of the fact that I don't know how long it took them to realize what was going on, but I do know that it took them three. It took me 3 hours just to get to the hospital while I was still puking and shit. That's the main thing. What was going on? Okay, so yeah, that's what my story is. I wanted to cut that little story back in there. I'm going to sleep. It's raining outside, which is good. Thanks. It might help me sleep. And I'll probably shout out to Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports because you guys give me the most interesting fucking stories ever. It's a podcast. It's a free podcast. I listen to them every night. They're fucking amazing. They're also fucking hilarious on how fucking stupid people are. Oh, Bubba. They make fun of the people. They don't make fun of the victims. By the way, just shout out. They just like to make fun of the town and stuff. One of my one, see, I was listening to one of their podcasts, and there's this place in I think Connecticut or New Jersey, where I think early on in their stage they had like a town where the town next to the town that they were doing was Horrorkill, which who the fuck would call their fucking town Horrorkill? It makes no fucking sense. You learn stuff, you know. But I hope everyone has a nice positive day. Sorry, Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder are fucking hilarious podcasts. You should listen to them. If you don't, then that's fine. I mean, I like it because it makes me laugh on how idiotic people are and how fucked up the world is sometimes, you know. But I like it. It's pretty fucking funny. If you have a weak stomach, I would not recommend you watching it. I mean, some of it's pretty gruesome, but how they explain it, it's just a podcast, but it's free. So if you want to listen to it, that's perfectly fine. Crime and Sports is more funnier, to my opinion, because I'm more of a sports person. They make fun of the sports, and they do sports outside of the United States. I mean, one time they did cricket, and that was fucking funny because they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. But yeah, stay positive, everyone, and stay frosty. Later.